Hello and welcome to homework walkthrough video for 6th grade math lesson 1.02a. Looks like for this lesson we are plotting rational numbers on a number line. Let's get started with this first one. Question 1. Plot the following decimals on the number line. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 decimals. 3 of them are positive decimals, 2 of them are negative decimals. Let's start with this. I'll just do them in order from left to right. To plot a point on the number line, I will click on my point tool. Click. And now let's find positive 0.75. On the number line, we start at 0, 0, which is right here. Start at 0. And positive numbers are to the right. Positive numbers are over here. Negative numbers are to the left. So we're 0.75. So that's like by 0.7, which is right here. There's 0.7, but 0.75 would be right there. Next is negative 0.5. So I start at 0. And negative numbers are to the left. So let's go to the left and try and find negative 0.5. Here's negative 0.2, negative 0.3, negative 0.4, almost, negative 0.5. Right there, in between negative 0.6 and negative 0.4. Now the next number, positive 1.25. So I start at 0, and then I will go to the right 1.25 because it's positive. So I think I'll just jump right to the number 1. And now I go up 2.25 more. So 1.1, 1.2 almost, 1.25 right here. 2 more, and negative 1.8. So I start here at 0, 0. And then I go to the left 1.8 because we are plotting a negative number. There's 0, negative 0.7, negative 0.8, negative 1, negative 1.2, negative 1.4, negative 1.5. Uh-oh. Negative 1.8 is like over here. So it looks like I need to scooch my number line over. To move your number line, you can click on the Select tool. Click anywhere here in this window. Click, hold it down, and drag your mouse. Click and hold and drag. I want negative 1.8. Here's negative 2, so that's too far. Here's negative 1.9, still too far. There we go, negative 1.8. Now I'm going to click and drag and put 0 back in the middle so I don't get lost. Click back my point tool, I have one more number, 0.2. So I start at 0 and I will go right to the number 0.2 right there. Now let's check our work. Oh yeah. Didn't tell me I'm wrong. That must mean I'm correct. Question 2. Plot the following fractions on the number line. Uh-oh. This number line doesn't have fractions. This number line only has decimals. So let's turn these fractions into decimals. And I'll show you how. You can turn every fraction, any fraction, into a decimal using the same strategy by doing top number divided by bottom number. We'll write these out. So for this first fraction, that would be top number divided by bottom number. So like 2 divided by 8, not 8 divided by 2. 2 divided by 8 is different than 8 divided by 2. For this, we got to use our calculator. 2 top number divided by bottom number is 0.25. Every fraction can be turned into its decimal form by doing its top number divided by its bottom number. -4 top number divided by the bottom number. -0.8. I'm going to skip this 1 1/2 for now. Come back to that at the end. Then we have -7 divided by 4. -7 divided by 4 is -1.75. And 5 divided by 10 is 0.5. 1 1/2 is a little different because it's not going to end up 0 point something. It'll be 1 point something. 1 point whatever 1 divided by 2 is. Kind of like if I were to rewrite it like this. 1 plus 1/2. 1 1/2 is the same as 1 plus 1/2. Why we say the word and there. And plus. So let's turn 1/2 into a decimal by doing top divided by bottom. It's 0.5. And so 1 and 1/2 is the same as 1 and 0.5, which is 1.5. Now let's plot these numbers. Let's start with 0.25. I click on my point tool, start at 0, and find positive 0.25. Bingo. Our next number is -0.8. So I start at 0, go -0.8 right there. Our next number is positive 1.5. Start at 0, positive 1.5, staying on this thick black line the whole time. Positive, oh, I went too far. Positive 1.5 right there. Our next number is negative 1.75. Start at 0, go negative 1.5. Oh, negative 1.75 will be over here somewhere. So I need to click on my select tool and drag my number line. I can drag my number line by clicking and holding my mouse or touchpad and scooch it. Click and hold and scooch it over. I want negative 1.75. There's -4, -6, -8. Oh, that's too far. -1.7, -1.75. Okay, now let's scooch it back to where 0 is in the middle. Perfect. Now I won't get lost. And my last number is positive 0.5. Start at 0, and positive is to the right. I went too far. Right there. 0.5. Now let's check our work. It did not tell me I'm wrong, so that means I'm correct. Plot the following rational numbers on the number line. Okay, so we can plot decimals on the number line. Let's start with those. We can plot decimals on this number line. So let's ignore the other numbers for now, and let's just plot these decimals. 0.6. Where does that go? Let's start at 0 and go to 0.6. Here's 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, and 0.6. So that one's done. The other decimal is positive 0.05. So almost 0. So here's 0. I want, there's 0. Oh, lucky me, 0.05. Now let's talk about those other numbers on here. For question 2, we just turned a lot of fractions into decimals. I think we can use that same strategy here by turning 3/4 and 1 5/8 into decimals also. But how do we turn fractions into decimals? Top number divided by bottom number with our calculator, of course. Top number divided by bottom number is 0.75, so 3/4 is the same as 0.75, and 1 and 5/8 is kind of the same as writing 1 plus 5/8. So let's try and turn 5/8 into a decimal by doing top number divided by bottom number. Nice. So 1 and 5/8 is kind of the same as saying 1 and 0.625, or just 1.625. Let's plot these numbers on the number line, 0.75 and 1.625. So 0 right here, and I want 0.75. Here's 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, 0.75, and 1.625. So I'm going to jump all the way to 1. 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 4, 5, 6. I want 1.625. I think, oh, I can't see it. I see 6.2 and 6.3. I'm going to zoom in just a smidge. Just click that zoom in button. Uh-oh. Looks like I might need to zoom in again. So let me rewind to do these steps. So here's where we were before. I'm going to click my select tool and put 1.6. I'm going to click and hold and move 1.6 in the middle of my screen. Now I'm going to zoom in 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Click my point tool, and I want 1.625. I think, can we get more exact? I know it's okay to round, so I think if I were to round, I bet 1.63 would be where I round. But if I wanted to zoom in even more, I don't think it tells you. So yep, looks like you have to, okay. Good to know. So you have to round to the hundredths place. And so rounding 1.625 to the hundredths place would make it 1.63. So that's what we would plot. Now let's try and plot these fractions. Oh, we just did the fraction. Oops. We just did these fractions. Now let's do, I like doing percents more. I think it's a little easier to turn percents into decimals. You divide the percents by 100. That's how you can turn these into decimals. Now, when you use your calculator for this, don't click a percent button. Just type the number 125. Don't click a percent button. And then do divided by 100. That will turn it into the decimal form. If you type 125 and then click the percent button, your calculator will just automatically tell you what the decimal form is. Then if you do that divided by 100, that's almost like dividing 125 by 10,000, which is not what we want to do. So if you're using your calculator for this, type 125 divided by 100 to get the decimal form, 1.25. And 90 divided by 100 is 0.9. Not 90% divided by 100, just 90 divided by 100. Now let's plot those points. 0.9 and 1.25. Now let's check our work. Looks like we're correct. Didn't tell us we were wrong, so let's move on to the last question. So this last question is very similar to question 3. So let's start with these decimals. A little faster. 0.42 and 0.2. Now, let's turn these fractions into decimals and plot those next. We can turn fractions into decimals by doing the top number divided by the bottom number with our calculator. So 3/2 is the same as 3 divided by 2, or 1.5. And 7/10 is the same as 7 divided by 10, which is 0.7. Now let's plot those now, those fractions. 1.5 is here, and 0.7 is here. Now let's finish it up. So we did the decimals and the fractions, the decimal. Now let's do the percents. To turn a percent into a decimal, we can divide that percent by 100. Now in your calculator, do not click a percent button. So 50, then divided by 100. If you type 50% divided by 100, you'll get a different answer. We don't use the percent button a lot. So just type 50, then divided by 100, 0.5. Okay, that number makes sense. That number is reasonable. 110% divided by, or 110 divided by 100 is 1.1. That answer seems reasonable. Seems like something that would go on my number line. Now let's plot both of these points, 0.5 and 1.1. 0.5 and 1.1. Let's check our work. Hey, nice. And when you're finished, click that blue finish button, then click submit all and finish, and submit all and finish again. When it tells you your score, then you are finished. All right, if you need more help with this homework, please let me know. I love to help. Send me a Canvas message. Come to me during asynchronous time, that homework help time. I love to help. Good luck and goodbye.